Hello, this is Daniel Kennedy from Steadfast Construction and Design. Today we are at the end of week 19, so we've started the decorating. That's right guys, we've started putting up the second fix carpentry and the decorating upstairs. So that's where we're going to focus on. Did a bit of digging at the front, but I'm not going to show you the whole because that is going to be a bit more exciting once we've got the connection in, because we've got a 63mm pipe coming from the road into the property, and then that's when I'm going to show you that. We've got a bit more work to do in the kitchen, which I'm going to show you. We've had a structural engineer come around and told us to beef up some columns. So I'm going to share a bit of a mistake that happened there and how we've rectified it and how the mistake came about. And then hopefully you guys can learn a bit about that in the future. Okay, cheers. Remember all the structural work that happened here? Remember we had that lintel and it was a rotting wooden lintel that was holding the rear of the property. So we had to think fast, and one of the trades, trying to be helpful, it's in his blood to be helpful, suggested that we use his structural engineer because he knows a guy, he's in the trade, he's got loads of good contacts. Very often they're absolutely fabulous contacts and they work, but on this occasion it didn't go to plan. So we had to put all this structural work in, judging from the experience without any calculations, hoping that they would be correct, and we over-engineered it all. But as we were trying to get the calculations from the building regulator, the structural engineer was unable to provide the calculations. We were chasing, and it meant that we couldn't get the building regs person on site until we had the calculations, because they wouldn't look favourably upon us doing something without building reg approval. Without structural engineering approval. So what we did is we went back to what we previously did in the previous projects, which we know that works. We went back to our structural engineer, got him out at this late stage to ask for some calculations, and it turns out we need some remedial work. So the column is good, the steel is good enough, but we need deeper foundations. So although this is going to cost quite a bit extra, it's just the circumstances of what happened. We needed to get it engineered, and the issue was we tried to go for the cheaper option of this trades contact with the structural engineer, and it didn't work out. So I'm learning this lesson again, guys. Like, how many times have we learnt this together? Don't go cheap. So I tried to go cheap and it's bit me in the arse and it's going to cost me more. So I promise you this will be the last time that I learn this lesson. We're going to pay our consultants. It's something you should never skimp on. And that is, I'm just going to twist it around. That is, your broker, pay them what they're worth. Your solicitor, pay them what they're worth. Your architect, pay them what they're worth. Your planning consultant, pay them what you're worth. Your goddamn solicitor, if I haven't mentioned it, pay them what you're worth. Your structural engineer, pay them what you're worth. Your building regs, try and get that for as cheap as possible because all they do is sign it off. Your insurance, pay them what they're worth. And also, your builder, pay them what they're worth. I'm not going to bloody learn this lesson again. It's going to cost us more now because we have to underpin this. We have to put some, I don't know what they're called. We have to weld some of the steel bars together. And it's just going to be a kerfuffle when it's if I'd have stuck to the program that I know works, that's worked on all the previous projects, because we had this problem solved at Jiggins when we had that joke of an architect do our drawings. We found the right team, but then I tried to go a bit cheaper and it's bit me in the ass. So this is the nature's way of telling me, stop going cheap. You pay cheap, you pay twice. So we're going to stick with our consultant. He's really good. He's really, really helpful. For those of you who are looking for a structural engineering, it's BK Consultants. His name is Bogdan. Really great guy. Very, very, very English when you speak to him. But he's helped us out here. We're going to get this done and then get the building regs company out to sign it off, and then we can begin to plaster it. So this is delaying this area of the job because we tried to. It's a fair suggestion by the trade. He didn't make a wrong decision. He was doing the intent where it came from. Again, this is why I'm not angry, because the intent, he was trying to help. It just didn't work out. So there's no point in placing blame, because there's no blame to be placed. I want them to make suggestions that help us out, make us efficiency, because 90% of the suggestions have actually turned out to be wicked. Like, we got really cheap plasterboard from them. We got really good bead ends from them because they were suggesting things. And I think if I was to be like, you absolute knobhead, why has this happened? One, it'd be unwarranted. And two, the next time they come up with a good idea, are they going to suggest it if I react when it doesn't go to plan? So I'm really learning that let people make decisions, let them make suggestions. If it goes right, great, wonderful, because you're not going to come up with everything yourself. And especially if you're not as experienced as those, they're not going to, and they as trades are going to have way more ideas than you are. to how to make it efficient. Sometimes I say no, like we've had a recent suggestion of painting primary colours on the banister, and I was like, absolutely not, but I'm glad they made the suggestion. And this one didn't come to fruition, but there are way more suggestions that have come and really been beneficial to the efficiency of the team and created an absolute wicked product at the end. That's why I'm not too bothered. So now we know in the future, well, I'm not going to pay cheap, because I pay twice every single goddamn time. I don't know how many times I need to learn this lesson. I'm going to continue paying the people what they're worth. And that's my advice to you. So I am working with a gentleman called Pete Smith, and he's got me this Leyland Super Latex White for £23, I think, per tub. I bought a pallet of it, which is cheaper than what I can get it for Selco at the moment. This water-based satin, this elemental colour, I got for £37. So previously I was using Farrow and Ball, and it was costing me £110 for 5 litres. And now that I've got it and it's in one of our properties, the tenants are bloody wrecked it already. Like, I don't know how they move in. They bloody move in with their asses first and their feet first. So it's all marked. So it needs to be redone. So I know satin marks quite easily, but if it's going to need to get redone anyway, I thought I'd buy bulk. We're going to store it in our house, store it in one of the properties, and then we can basically redo all the woodwork as we work for our HMOs, all the same colour, get loads of it in, and then we can repair it fairly easily. So I'm not going to use Farrow and Ball again. It's not the bloody paint that it's portrayed to be, that it won't mark, because it has marked and it looks just like every other paint, but yet I'm paying 4 or 5 times the amount. So those are our towel rads. Check it out, guys. Fabulous. And if you're lucky, you can see my glorious reflection. And let me show you some column radiators that we'll be having in the hallway. So things are moving on up in our HMO world. So let's go see what's going on, see if we've got any skirting down here or doors. So we've done the mist coat this week. You can see some of the door frames there. What does the mist coat do? So we put the mist coat on, or the whitewash as some like to call it, and it shows the blemishes up in the plastering. So you can see a bit there. So that's been where it's filled and been sanded. There's a few more blemishes. And then that's what the decorating stage that we're going to do now. So we're going to be doing decorating as well when we do all the woodwork. So let's go upstairs and let me show you the most glorious banister. Apart from this one, obviously. Look at this. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah, boy. I love it. So, again, talking about the suggestions, I showed them the picture that had sharp corners on the edges, but they made the decision to have soft ones, like rounded corners, and I bloody love it. I just cannot. Sometimes the trades do really well, where I give them a really vague description, and I say, go deliver that, and then they just get it spot on. It's just perfect. I couldn't describe what I wanted, but they were able to deliver this, and this is exactly what I wanted. And then we're going to have the kitchen round here, and then you've got the little banister up there. And also, which is spot on, I would never pay for this because it doesn't increase rental, but the trade has, I haven't got lights here so I can't show you, but that is a granite worktop. Look at that. That is an expensive piece of stone right there that he had left off from another job. So, and then we're building a bit of a bookshelf here so they can not sort of fall into it. And then he's built this glorious royal bed. Look at it. We had to build a custom bed here because we weren't going to get the divans up. So I say we, I've done nothing. He built a custom bed. Look, check it out. Love it. Perfect. Lucky tenants, eh? Look at my doors. They're on. Perfect. If I can get the handle, I'll open them and I'll show you the hinges. If not, you'll have to just watch the... Oh, you lucky things. Guess what I've got? Right, Right, you are in for a right treat. Look at those hinges. Lovely. I need to make sure we change those screws, because we're definitely not having gold screws. That's fucking horrendous. Boom. Aren't they lovely, guys? Aren't they lovely? Oh, excellent. So we've got the shower trays in. So that's moving forward. There we go. Look at that. Nice, neat cuts. Those of you who know me, for some reason, I couldn't give a damn about the finish of the walls. I just really like nice, clean cuts on the hinges and the door furniture. It's just so good. So look at these ones over here as well. So I got these from Vigor Doors. So why did I do this? So the overall price, when you look at the face of it, is more expensive. So I would pay $220 for all the door furniture from Howden's, every single bit. And then I'm paying $272 for machine doors and the frames and everything. So that's what it works out per door. But then when you include the labour, you're saving a bucket load, mate. It's not even a competition. So this is why we're going to be doing this again in future. And the trade has now given the okay to have the frames and the doors in one. So next project, they'll be coming like this. So it'll be even less time for him to hang, because they're all going to be pre-hung. It'll just be in, drill, architrave, skirting, of which is now on, which is fantastic. Are any of the rooms ready for the decorator? Oh yeah, that's the kitchen. So this is ready for the decorator. Perfect. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with how things are going. Right, let me do my sign off. So guys, that is the end of week 19 here at the 9 studios and 2 ensuite rooms and 1 office with 2 kitchens. So we're moving on to the decorating, as we said. I've been looking to outsource a bit of the decorating, so I've had a few blokes, because our existing one is said it's a bit too big for him alone, so we're going to get a few more bods in and increase the team that size. They're just going to work on the top floor and then work their way down, which is all tickety-boo. I'm really happy with how that's going to turn out. So I am doing the tour on the 2nd of August, so I'll attach the link. Make sure you sign up. We've sold 5 places. I'm going to restrict it to 10 because I can't realistically do a social distancing, and yeah, I want to make sure, I really want to hammer it down and not put people at risk. So if you're interested, you want to come and take a look at our project, you're going to really see the shape of it, how we've managed to fit 9 studios in this block, and how we've managed to do it for the cost that we have done it. I don't know anyone out there who's even close to what we're able to provide. So if you want to come and learn, we're going to learn about the whole plethora of the journey, the property journey, the mistakes, the trials, tribulations, the introduction of our strengths, of what works, and what makes us more efficient. I cannot understate how important it is, and I promise you, you will think it's worth the 65 quid that we charge. This is Daniel Kennedy. Hope you enjoyed our little tour and enjoy the remainder of your weekend. So the battery's just gone dead, so I'll sign off now.